How's everybody doing? I am Cameron Meredith with ADU West Coast, and today we're going to go through some of the average costs to build an ADU. Some of the things we're going to be talking about is site conditions, utility connection points, existing siding or stucco, which is really important to note because you do have to match the existing single family. Same thing with your roof line. And then as well as the condition of your garage, if you're doing a garage conversion, obviously we look at footings, sill plates, the ceiling height, which is, again, we'll cover in more detail, and then your roof condition. And at the end, I'll go through kind of what we're seeing right now for average cost on design build per category. So hopefully that will help on what to expect as far as designing and then building ADUs. So let's talk about our site conditions. Okay, so first off, we have elevation changes. So you can see here, this is perched up from the street. So it's on a elevation, almost like a hill where it would slope down to the sidewalk or street, right? And this is important because in most cases, your city sewer comes in at the front. In some cases, it does come through the back. But it would be important if, let's say, you're building an ADU that slopes down from the street, which would require a sewer pump if it does not have the proper slope to connect to your sewer lateral. So that's really important to note. Also, if you build on a hillside, that's going to be a lot more costly than if you were to build on a flat lot. So that's very important as well to note the site condition there. Second thing is your soils. So what type of soils are we working with here, right? It might require, more engineering or more material as far as the build out. So you definitely want to figure out what type of soil you're working with. In most cases, if you're doing a freestanding structure in California, it will require a soils report. So just know that. Third thing is easements. It's important to know, like a big one's electrical easements, obviously to watch out for, which you can see, when they're going above. It's pretty easy to see in the backyard, but there are plumbing easements, certain things like that that you might not be aware of, that it's important to find out. And then the last thing is solar. Any freestanding new build ADU in California will require solar panels. So that's really important. Obviously, that's going to be an added cost to you when building. So please note any freestanding is going to require solar panels. Now, utility connection points, this is important because we always have to connect to our utilities for the ADU, whether you get a separate meter or not. So let's talk about our water. Water, we usually connect to a point of the house. So we don't, in most cases, have to connect to the actual water meter in front unless you wanted a new meter, which is usually placed next to the existing. Gas, we always run to the existing gas meter. Again, even if you don't get a separate meter for the ADU, you're still running that gas line right here. So wherever the existing gas meter is, we have to trench and run our lines to there. Same thing with electric. We have to trench and run our electrical lines to the existing panel and meter. Then the last one is sewer. We always connect to, in most cases, the sewer lateral, which comes from the city main sewer and then within your property line. So as mentioned, in most cases, what we'll do is we'll run a whole new line that runs within the lateral there. Here is a depiction. It shows you a little bit of the breakdown on what to look for, right? So right here, if you see the icon 1, that's the gas meter connection point, which is about 53 feet. So when we do our site inspections, we do include this. You'll see the ADUs right here, which will be built out of the garage, and then we will just trench through grass, which is about 53 feet. Number 2 is the electrical. It's only about 13 feet. It does need a 200 amp panel upgrade, which is what we noted there. It was, I don't recall at the time, I believe it was 100 or something. And then here, the third is the water connection point. We figured we can connect to our water, which is only 14 feet away there. And then this is what I'm talking about with the sewer lateral. So sewer main comes in right down here, and then ties into the property somewhere along this line, right? So we will trench a trench line for our underground sewer, and then we'll connect right about there where that lateral comes in. And again, that's about 72 feet. Uh, okay, another thing that's really important is our stucco or siding, or you need to note what type of material the existing house has, because again, as mentioned in the beginning, you have to match whatever it is. So if it's wooden siding, for example, rather than stucco, that's going to be a lot more costly to do as far as installation and material, right? So really important to note that. Here's some different kinds here that you can take a look at. But again, really important to note what type of stucco or what type of siding the existing house has to match. Another thing is your type of roof. So what, do we have clay shingles? Are they wooden shingles? Is it asphalt? And if you're doing a garage conversion, what type of condition that roof is in. Okay, so that's really important. Also, the roof height is really important as well on a garage conversion. So anything I would say less than like 7 feet existing, it would raise some sort of awareness as to whether or not we can utilize that roof without ripping it off. And again, consult with your contractor on that. Footings for all garage conversions. So, most of these garages that we do not have the proper 12-inch footing that's required. So what we do is we'll have to underpin and pour more concrete on the bottom here. The only way to find out is to actually dig down and figure out, what that size is. So it's hard to tell, but obviously in this case, you can see this was a 2-story structure. So as far as the footing goes, we already knew it was totally fine to support that second story. So again, really important to note your footing condition. Ceiling height, as I mentioned before, this is really important. So right here, if you're looking at my mouse, if that is any less than 7 feet, I would, again, consult, with your contractor or designer to figure out if there's going to be any issues with the existing roof, especially if it's like a flat roof, like something like this. So really important to note that ceiling height, because for those of you who don't know, we run a lot of our electrical, some plumbing insulation through the ceiling and walls. So that's important as well. Now we'll go through some of the average pricing for design build, right? So again, these are average of kind of what we're seeing right now. It could change in the future, but as of end of 2023, this is really what we're seeing as far as the build out and the design included. So garage conversions, which your average 2-car garage is somewhere between I would say 320 and 400 square feet. You're seeing about 145 to 170K plus. Ground up 1-bedrooms, same size, let's call it 400 to 600 square feet. You're looking at about 165 to 225. Ground up 2-bedroom range, let's call it 625 square feet to 800. It's going to be about 225 to 300. And then your ground up 3 bedrooms, let's say 1,000 square feet to 1,200. You're looking at like the 290 to 390 plus. So again, a lot of this depends on what you're building, what your site conditions are, what type of material you're using, but hopefully that gives an idea and a range of what to expect. And then also last one on top of the garage, which is going to be pretty costly. Most garages definitely cannot support that second story, and then you'll need to rip that roof off. So we're looking at like 200K to 265K plus, again depending on your site conditions. So hopefully this helps. If you like this video, please subscribe and like. And if you have any suggestions for future videos that you'd like, feel free to comment below, and we'll hope to produce something in the next couple weeks. And thanks for watching.